Theory. I'm Aurian Archive, and I've got a bit of a unexpected, in short version, an older laptop. In this case, this is a Lenovo Thinkpad Edge E525, manufacture date March 2012. Uh, Basically wound up in my lap. Now, there weren't any specific complaints about it, just pulled a hard drive. Uh, Previous owner doesn't trust the system. All right, well, let's see what this laptop has, because it had some surprising um, features, at least that I thought were surprising, and that it does have a PCI Express port, an M.2 style port. So in theory, it could take an M.2 solid state drive that runs over PCI Express, but that PCI port is really designed for a Wi-Fi connector. So take the Wi-Fi adapter out, and no more Wi-Fi. Uh, so that's something I found interesting. Something else I found interesting is that the serial ATA bay seems to have been configured to have had an M.2 slot behind it, as in the space and the mounting hole is there. But 2012 for an M.2 drive? Uh, it's like, okay, I know PCI Express M.2 have been in the works for a long time, but that's kind of, uh, something doesn't add up there. Was this a prototype chassis? How old is M.2 anyways? M.2's PCIe. Uh, okay, the M.2 specification. Do I actually have a date here? M.2 was designed revision improvement to M serial ATA. Existing PCI Express mini card, mini PCIe form factor. Okay, space-wise, it looks like it could actually be pinned for an M.2 2230, or the next one up from that to 2260. And I'm still kind of, when was this? What's the actual date? And the other thing I'm looking at is M serial ATA standards. And that's another possibility, is that M serial ATA was actually announced by a serial ATA organization on September 21st, 2009. So I could be looking at this, and that this chassis was supposed to take an M serial ATA card, not necessarily an M.2 PCIe Express card. So it's like the mounting path is there, but it's not there. Okay, other interesting things in among the system, and that it is a. I think I can actually get two windows up here. First thing is, this is among other oddities, the native. Yeah, if we go back to hardware configuration, we'll do display and monitor. And we'll look at the laptop screen. The laptop screen has a native resolution of 1366 by 768. Whereas other devices might normally be 1360 by 768. And doing both of the, trying to do one resolution and the other, is resulting in display corruption on my input device, the EVGA XR1. You can see it says EVGA XR1 there. So another oddity there, that the I can't remember if 1366 by 768 was a standard laptop resolution. But there are some issues with like background screens not transferring over, and I don't know if this is a KDE issue or an AMD issue, since going back to what's actually under the hood about this system, we'll go back to hardware configuration. It is an AMD A4 3300M APU. So this is basically a dual-core processor. It has 16 gigs of RAM installed, and as best as I can track, it can't actually take any more. So although I may be able to get larger DIMMs in DDR3 format, I don't think the system could actually take them. System monitor. All right. Giving us a better look at our processor and disk. Okay, so as I said, basically this was handed to me. Take the drive out. It's not trustworthy. I took the serial ATA drive, the A data, out of Vitriol and put it in this laptop because it would fit. And so far the performance isn't bad. At least not by any definition that I would call bad. It's kind of fast enough. There's not any significant lag in working the operating system. And as far as I can tell, the only real problem seemed to be the battery is gone. But it is an external plug-in battery, so I may actually be able to find a third-party battery. In fact, Lenovo lists a Sanyo battery that I think may still be in production, so this may still be a functional laptop. So this is something that I'm going to be kind of working around with. And yes, the one of the things I will be working on later today is whether or not City of Heroes will actually run on it. I have no idea how all this is going to work. Which monitor it's going to go on, whether or not it's even going to load. Okay, turn you off for a second. And there we go. And yes, I want to launch with Proton. Play. I'm kind of going at its age. I'm not really sure I should be too concerned about having shown a product key for Unreal Tournament. I have no idea if it's going to launch or not. We do have something chewing up CPU and memory. The question is, where is it? Did it even launch? Alright, well, weird. Again, I don't know if this is just an issue because of the setup I've got going on it. Oh no, we've got a... it's running something. Yeah. Alright, well, since it's not giving me a we'll just quit the application. Okay, going back to anything else real quickly. Alright, anyways, I'm also running Manjaro, deliberately running Manjaro instead of my normal KDE Neon. Okay, let's go back to the info screen. Was there anything? Okay. Okay, and here we actually got a listing on the battery, and again, so I may be able to get a copy and internally, at least it's being reported this is health 80%, and for all I know, it may have to go through a few cycles. And actually, this gives me a little bit more feedback than I was expecting over what its wattage per hour is. So I'm going to attempt to load a uni-engine benchmark and just set it to loop and let it drain out and see how well that goes. It won't be fast, will be kind of painful. Okay, and going down into devices, PCIe. This was where I found some, I think, I found some things that were interesting in here. Uh, okay, the PCIe port. And there's actually two of these ports in here. One at 15.0, one at 15.1. Going down these PCI bridges, this is where it kind of makes me think that this board was maybe a different version of this board, because it seems to be the lowest in spec. May have had a pinning for an M serial ATA solid state drive. But that is as old as the system is. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. And we also had the Ricoh controller. What else was in here? Okay. And a Realtek controller. That was okay. Here was the other thing I found weird, is that this actually has a gigabit Ethernet port, which I'm guessing was configured, because that's not a bad Ethernet port. Not a whole lot to look in here. Gives us a little bit more information on our wireless. So again, just some interesting things from when this laptop was built, and that it was obviously a low spec, or the lowest in CTO, configured to order. And was there anything else that was oh, right. The other thing that was interesting, and I think I gotta go back to display, system settings, hardware configuration. The HD6 480G is Aurian HD6 480G. This was a Terascale 2 chipset. So it theoretically supports DirectX 11 shader model 5.0. So in turn, that means it also would support OpenGL 4.2. This is on a Yano processor. Uh, let's see. 64080G. Vulkan driver. GPU open. This is actually tell me. This doesn't give me the open drivers. Sumo, Terrascale 2. Okay, it does OpenGL 4.4 and it does support OpenGL 1.2. So theoretically, a Vulkan driver could run on top of this. And I've seen some blurb in the past about running Vulkan on Terrascale 2 Plus on Terrascale 2 GPUs. However, it's only got, according to the information I'm looking at, 240 shading units, 12 texture, only 4 ROPs, and only 3 compute units. So at 4 ROPs, this is actually going to struggle, I think, to even fill its native screen space of 1366 by, what was that, 7 something. But it is running the video Linux driver, so it should have full OpenGL 4.4 support. So I am going to try to run City of Heroes on this. I'm not sure it's going to be any worse than the Acer Aspire 1 that I had. And part of me is going, I really should just throw this in a trash bin. The other part of me goes, it's just a functional laptop. I mean, if I can work something out on the resolutions, what the EVGA-XR1 is able to take, we'll see if we can actually get some games running on it. So this is all I got for now.